Alright, shalom, shalom. Before I begin this video, all praise, honor, and glory goes into Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well, as well as the sincere salutations to the elder bishops, along with you brothers who are laboring all throughout the four winds of the earth. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Kodash, Barakatham. And to you brothers, shalom to the sincere, hopeful elect out there. And this, these different, they say tantrums. He's throwing a tariff tantrum. These different alliances that Babylon the Great is all of a sudden, coming up with. This is going to lead to, the other nations continuing to resist, continuing to go up, against him, just as the scriptures speak on, the beast shall hate the whore. So, so they got a board of peace. Esau, Edom, right? It's pushing peace, the board of peace, right? Trump throws unhinged tariff tantrum over prospect of France refusing to join his new board of peace. Alright, says that he's threatening a hefty 200% tariff on French wine and champagne. It says the board, ostensibly created to supervise the reconstruction of war-ravaged Gaza, seems to have a much wider remit of maintaining global order, with Trump at the head according to its founding charter. So now you got a new alliance that you got to get down with, the Board of Peace. It says, I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes and he'll join. Damn. So he trying to financially strong arm him. And these other countries as well. It says the board, which will cost $1 billion to join and is chaired by Trump, has been attacked by critics as an attempt by the U.S. president to create a rival UN with himself at the head. Yeah, so he trying to create his own, do his own thing, man. Let's see if we can get just a little bit of this.
We've seen the president put forth common sense executive orders and take really common sense executive action that we would love Congress to take further action on to ensure that the president's executive actions can remain long after his tenure.
Shopping, working, and relaxing online can attract
So you don't have another president come in here in 8 years.
Always some damn ads. Anyways, it says it comes after the daughter of Trump's doctor made a bombshell claim.
And undo some of the executive work that the president.
Have protection is not enough. Using just an antivirus online
has worked so hard on. So we want Congress to
trash.
Continue getting to work, but we got to get this reconciliation bill passed first.
Looking for unforgettable experience.
says here, the threat of French wine tariff is just one facet of a larger diplomatic disagreement revolving around Greenland, a semi-autonomous Danish territory that Trump has repeatedly claimed the U.S. must control for strategic reasons. So he's not letting it go. It says Trump has threatened to impose tariffs of up to 25% on 8 European countries. Right, which this is all Edomites, including Denmark, France, Germany, and the UK. Unless Greenland is ceded to U.S. control. European nations condemn these unacceptable tactics. So they openly against it. They're not just agreeing and then, secretly they don't agree. No, they openly saying, nah, we don't want that. It says, with German and French finance ministers stating that Europe will not be intimidated by such measures. They describe the actions as unacceptable and are preparing retaliatory responses, which is going to start off with finances and, reverse tariffs, things of that nature. They're going to create some of their own different kind of boards and groups. And these little anti-board of peace groups are these couple of, people who are against each other. Like normally, France and Germany, they kind of do their own thing. They're doing their own thing. Now they're having to come together. They're having to come together to go against, T-Dog. Ultimately, this is just political theater. We know that the elite international bankers is having, these people pitted against each other, and ultimately it's the Lord that's, orchestrating everything. Right? Because Macron, he don't want to join the board of peace. He know what time it is. Right? Because he a damn devil, so he knows what it means when they talk about, okay, peace. He knows that it's the opposite. It says, pledging that Europeans will respond in a united and coordinated manner to protect sovereignty and uphold legal standards. Yeah, because basically they don't want to be next. The Board of Peace is a recently established international organization endorsed by the United Nations Security Council last November to assist in overseeing and maintaining the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. So, and this is one of T-Dog's many tactics, man. He been doing that for a long time. He'll create something, and then he'll use it for multiple things. Right? Like here it is that was, that Board of Peace was mainly focused on that. Now what's the Board of Peace focusing on? Getting Greenland. So when you present it in front of everybody, the United Nations Security Council, when you present, a Board of Peace because you're trying to, squash a beef between, Gaza and Israel, everybody's all for that. But after it's established, now they moving on to something different. And they're not going to agree on going to Greenland and taking that land. All right, yeah, this is already in the works. That Board of Peace is already up. It's already established. All right, hey, Trump on the move, and we loving it. We loving every second of it. The Wadiah Bashim Yahushai. Lord's will, hey, this C-HIP is presented because it's going to be presented in America, right, soon, and then worldwide, right? You got over there, because, you know, here in Babylon the Great, you can get the C-HIP already, all right? You can go to different parts of the world and get the C-HIP. Yeah, it's going to be fully, you know, here on a worldwide scale. Says Trump has extended invitations to several world leaders to participate on the board, including Russian President Vladimir Putin, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So he already. So wait a minute. Here it is. He against this person and that person. Yeah, he trying to make little groups. All right, that's the pride of Esau. The pride of Esau, Edom, right? And these are Edomites. United Kingdom, aka Britain, right? Mostly Edomites. Russia, mostly Edomites, right? And then, Indians, being Elam. It says UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer described the notion of imposing tariffs over a political disagreement as completely wrong, which that nigga, they do it over there. They do it over there. They do it in India. They do all over the world because they following the beat of Babylon the Great, aka America. As much as they hate America, you've basically been transformed into a bunch of little mini Americas. All over the world, you basically got that spirit of America, but it's just spread throughout the whole world. All right, they already got the serpent's poison. Here it is. They upset about the fact they got bit by the serpent, but the venom is already in you. You can go all the way to the UK. You can go to the middle of the nowhere UK. You're going to see a Burger King. You're going to see a man getting down on one knee and, proposing, dancing, partying, just, the idolatry, self-idolization. That's real big here in Babylon the Great. Me, me, me. All about what you did and what you ate. Man, don't... It says... And you go over to these different countries, man, they not feeling that. They tired of the Babylonian bullshit. Swedish leaders similarly rejected the approach, asserting that Europe will not permit itself to be bullied by U.S. actions. As diplomatic tensions continue to mount, the international community is monitoring closely to observe how Europe will counter Trump's unprecedented tariff threats and whether the Board of Peace will emerge as a new point of contention in the ongoing battle for global influence and authority. And that's great too because Tito, he likes, rubbing elbows with Russia. He likes rubbing elbows with everybody, but he likes bullying them as well. So this is perfect. The stage is being set, for all these nations to turn against Babylon the Great. All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 1. The preparations of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Lord. Yeah, so all dialogue, every single word that's ever been spoken, the Lord has directly influenced that. It's not one person alive right now or has ever been alive before, right, that has said words that the Heavenly Father did not have them to say. Esau, Edom, and his wickedness, that's the Lord controlling that. It ain't like he just doing whatever he want to do, and he's just this this superpower that's beyond being regulated. No, the Lord controls everyone's footsteps, everyone's words, right? Everyone's mind. Billions of people on earth, and the Lord, controls all of them. Proverbs 16:2. All the ways of a man are clean in his own eyes, but the Lord weigheth the spirits. Right? So specifically speaking on this border peace situation, everyone thinks that this is what they should do, right, in order to push themselves forward, because they think that they're up next to rule, right? Whether it be these different nations that have the delusion of being up next, like, China, so-called Moabites, Elam, the so-called East Indians, right? So on and so forth. They believe that they're up next. And then Esau has his own delusion as well, that he's going to just rule forever. The Lord has gave all these nations like a separate delusion. The only people who aren't delusion are, obviously the children of Israel. Because if you think about it, what we're speaking on is true. It's not a delusion. Like when we say, hey, we up next, right? That's a fact. Proverbs 16:3. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So the Lord is setting all this up. They're proving themselves to be evil, right? And the Lord has reserved them for that, right? They're going to deserve all the punishment they get. Proverbs 16:5, it says, everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord. So not only Esau, Edom, but the other nations, right? And 2/3 of Israel, because they proud as hell too. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished. Yeah, so even though they got the border peace, right? United Nations, okay, that's all blasphemy. Just blasphemous names, right? Because the nations can't be united, right? And that damn show can't be no board of peace with Esau at the head of that. We know for a fact. All right, Proverbs 16:6. I'm going to end the video. By mercy and truth, iniquity is purged. And by the fear of the Lord, men depart from evil. So knowing that these things are coming up next, ultimately the C-Hip, WW3, all out anarchy, chaos, right? We have to depart from evil and seek Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem HaKakwadash. Seeing all these alliances and people coming together and seeing the hands joining in hands, we got to depart from evil and seek Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Proverbs 16:7. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Right? Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues without right. So we stick to the course, right? Teaching the word, completely for free. Right? We get paid through the Spirit. Right? And man's heart deviseth his way, but the Lord directeth his steps. The Lord's will, he's directing us, right, through the Holy Spirit. He keeps his hand on us through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, so with that, Lord's will, you are edified. Call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, who rule well and teach well and taught us his truth, as well as the sincere salutations to the elder bishops, along with you brothers who are laboring all throughout the four winds of the earth, right? Bringing out the 100% accurate doctrine of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai in sincerity and in faith. To you, I say Shalom, Kwam Yashala, in a bob of ball, right? We see that this board of peace is gonna lead to chaos. This is snowball effect, right? Ultimately, we're gonna see the CHIP, and then the Lord is gonna come back very shortly, right? In our lifetimes, it's coming very soon. Shalom.